Happy Friday! I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Today is going to be kind of like a mini series. It's going to be a 5 Faves Friday, but it's going to be themed. So over the course of the next few weeks, I am going to do a series of 5 Faves Fridays based on a category. So today, as an example, is going to be about bronzer. So I'm going to share with you 5 of my favorite bronzers at the moment, kind of all time, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. So you guys will have to let me know what video you want to see next. So whether it's blushes or highlighters or maybe foundations or bases, you guys can let me know. I already have a list of different categories, but maybe you can help me choose in what order I take this. I have all 5 of my bronzers here, and I also have some brushes that I like to use with these bronzers, so let's get started. It would be totally unfair for me to rank these 5 bronzers because I love them all equally. So when I was deciding which bronzers to choose, I didn't necessarily go through my bronzer collection. I basically just sat down old school with a pen and paper and jotted down the ones that really came to the top of my mind first. So these are them, and I love them all for different reasons. They're all kind of different, but they're all really great products. So let's start with the first one, which is from NARS. This is NARS Laguna, and this is a lot of the products that I have are, I would consider them cult favorites, and the reason they're cult favorites is because, you know, a lot of people like them, and I'm no exception. I'm a person. I like beauty products. So this is NARS Laguna, and this is one of the first bronzers I ever purchased. I've had this particular bronzer for years. I think the reason why I haven't fully gone through this palette, not because I don't love it, but because NARS typically puts Laguna in a bunch of different palettes. So at one point I owned the duo where it had, you know, NARS Orgasm and Laguna. I used up that half of the pan. I also have Laguna in a couple of different cheek palettes. So it's kind of hard to use up this particular one because I have it in a whole bunch of other palettes, but nonetheless, it's a really beautiful warm golden bronzer. It has a bit of shimmer to it. It does add a bit of a sheen to your cheeks, but it doesn't look chunky or glittery, so it's just a really beautiful sun-kissed glow. The next bronzer is probably the newest bronzer that I own, but it has quickly become one of my favorite products ever. This is from Hourglass. It's their ambient lighting bronzer, and it's in the shade Radiant Bronze Light. They do have another one that's slightly lighter than this. It's called Luminous Bronze Light, and they're both really great products. The pigmentation is just spot on. It's really easy to blend. It has the perfect amount of shimmer to it that gives you just a really nice glow without being too shiny or sparkly. I just absolutely love this. It's so effortless to use, and it's such a great product to use all year round. Number 3, although I did say these were in no particular order, but this has got to be the OG matte bronzer for me. I have had, or I've been using Benefit Hoola for so long. I actually just hit pan, and no, I just used up an entire pan of Benefit Hoola. It was the first one actually. Because these are such pigmented bronzers, you really don't need to use a whole ton of it. So it will last you so long. Mine, my new one, my newer one, is still in the old packaging where the lid comes completely off. So it still has a buttload of product in it. It has about 10 grams, I believe. 11. It has 11 grams of product in it. So it is kind of crazy the amount of product you get in here, but it's such a great product. It is completely matte. It has no shimmer to it whatsoever. I actually used to use this as a contour also, but now I just lightly layer it on my cheeks for a bronze look. Not only does it make a great bronzer to warm up your skin, but it does make you look a little bit more sculpted, so who doesn't want that? Another matte bronzer that I love is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Again, probably a cult favorite. A lot of people talk about this. One of the things I love about it is the fact that it smells like cocoa. It smells really good. But this is another matte bronzer. If you look really close, I feel like there's a bit of a gold like fleck to it, but it looks matte on the skin. If you have lighter skin, they do have a lighter version of this, obviously. This is in the shade medium deep, and it just works perfectly with my skin tone. Again, just like with Benefit Hoola, it just warms up your skin and gives you a bit more of a sculpted look to your face. So I love this bronzer, and it smells amazing. That's probably one of the reasons why I like it. The last bronzer I wanted to mention is the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. This is the Bronze Universal. I got this, I was actually reading one of my old blog posts on this, and I got this in 2013, if not like the end of 2012, and I still have so much product left, partially because I kind of forgot about it for a little while, and over the past summer I've been using this more, and I just fell back in love with it. It is such a great cream bronzer. It's such a great bronzer, period, but I really like that it's cream because in the summertime I like to use a lot more cream products. I've never had to worry about this looking orange on me because I do have, you know, a naturally tan complexion. If you do have fair skin, then I hear that this does tend to be a bit orange, and I can see why, because it does have kind of an orangey base to it. But for me, I can just slap this on and have no worries. But I have used it under foundation or tinted moisturizer too, and it looks so seamless on the skin, and it's just a great product. And even though it's a bit pricey, I think this retails for about $55-ish, it does last quite a while. And even though this is a cream product, I mean, I've had it for 3 years now and it still hasn't gone weird. It still applies the same way, it still has the same consistency, so it has a pretty good shelf life. So those were my 5 favorite bronzers of the moment. Some of those bronzers I have been loving for years. Before I go though, I wanted to show you some brushes that I like to use to apply the bronzers that I mentioned. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush. I love this to apply the Bronze Universal. It's just a really great brush because it's synthetic, so it works really well with cream products, and the shape of it it allows you to buff the product out really beautifully. I used to really like the Real Techniques contour brush for the Bronze Universal, but after a while I just found that that was too small, and I'm never ever contouring with Bronze Universal, so I just preferred a bigger brush to really buff product out. So these are both from Sonia Kashuk. This one is the #1 powder brush, and then this one is the #2 blush brush. And the reason I like these is because the shape, they're very similar shape. They are, you know, a paddle shape with kind of like a flat top here. The powder brush is a lot fluffier, obviously it's a lot bigger. I like to use this for the ambient bronzer just because the ambient bronzer is such a finely milled powder that having such a like soft fluffy brush is just the perfect way to apply it. I like to use the smaller brush for matte bronzers like the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil or the Benefit Hoola. It just is really great for buffing out the product. This is the MAC 109 brush, and to be honest, I used to love this brush and I still use it occasionally, but it's not my go-to brush anymore. I used to love this. I used to think it was so soft. That was way before I discovered Hakuhodo brushes, but I just like this for just blending out product, really. Not necessarily for application anymore, but just to blend product out. This brush is from Hakuhodo. I don't know what the name is because it's one of those long jumbled letter number combinations, but this is a really great brush for, again, blending out product. I also like to use this for bronzers like NARS Laguna. So those were my 5 favorite bronzers and also some of the brushes that I like to use to apply them. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Again, please leave me a comment below to let me know what 5 faves Friday you'd like to see next. Thank you so much again for watching and have a great weekend. Bye!